created by global capitalism allows vacationers to purchase Sunyer buns and Port Clovis ashtrays. King mackerel remains a popular dish, in spite of being one of the top 5 fish for potential mercury poisoning. The profusion of parrotfish here have kept Sapphire Bay's local hammerhead healthy and strange-looking. thing as a recession-proof business, except for the frozen banana stand. Whether boom or bust, the demand for reliable, quality frozen bananas remains a constant. The bull shark demonstrates the importance of getting enough minerals in her diet. Determined process servers. Their boats laden with bench warrants and affidavits.
Take Kyle to the carnival when he wasn't nothing but an itty-bitty boy. The fact that he was afraid of that Ferris wheel should have told me he wasn't never gonna be no shark hunter.
Quite a strange conglomeration of stuff will end up in the stomachs of sharks.
Anybody got some lip balm?
That about wraps it up.
The powers of society have retaliated with deterrent action, but mankind is ultimately impotent to stop Mother Nature's vengeance. While homeless and itinerant hobos will work for a living, they are not to be confused with bums who are sedentary and refuse to work, kind of like my son Jeff. How quickly Port Clovis takes up arms in the name of a murderous cause.
No more shark attacks on my watch. Let's go.
Pride in boat ownership manifests itself in a variety of ways here in Port Clovis.
sailing lesson. Sit up on his trawler waving his hunting rifle, yelling at me to sail faster.
Lady up!
This shark's legacy will live on when it's processed for use in fish meal, animal feed, and fertilizer. In the 70s, abandoned bales of marijuana frequently appeared along Port Clovis's shoreline. These were colorfully referred to by locals as square grouper. Sapphire Bay has had several piers. 3 that were destroyed by hurricanes, and 2 that collapsed due to substandard construction and safety deficiencies.
I'd said all kind of things about Mama Maybelle, but she always give me a fair price on fins.
The appearance of a shark on land leaves beachgoers slack-jawed. many a child has run away to the sea with a head full of romantic notions of dynamiting sharks for a living.
Sapphire Bay.
Fellas, we got a shark we need to put down.
Alan said all kind of things about Mama Maybell, but she always give me a fair price on Phoenix.
Without meaning, a nihilistic statement on the futility of life. A shark's most dangerous enemy is man. During Prohibition, the pier functioned as a dock for rum runners, transporting British-made liquors from the Bahamas. Even a shark can't help but marvel at this consumerist Babylon. footage in 23 is certainly heating up the evolutionary arms race. If only someone had done their 6th grade reading assignment, perhaps this tragedy could have been avoided. Lacking natural intestinal support out of water, the shark's internal organs struggle to function. Shark must now be killed and publicly displayed to satisfy the city's thirst for revenge. Possible that this shark's coarse, textured skin will someday make a really neat anti-pickpocket wallet. To look at Pier 1 is to see what happens when zero risk management practices are utilized in commercial development. Beginning in 1946, WZUZ began broadcasting the country variety show Hillbilly Hayloft Hoedown, live from Pier 1. crew to earn the shark hunters' trust, to convince them we were not insurance investigators questioning their disability claims. The shark should really get some water in it.
This was the only known habitat of the speckled seaside sparrow. But, you know, they went extinct in 2007.
This shark understands that she needs to eat essential minerals to stay healthy and grow.
Never mind. Nobody sees anything, huh? All I see is water. Think I need a new prescription. Wait, is that? Nope. I see her. Never mind. All I see is water.
Greeting the red tide has become an annual tradition in Port Clovis. Every June, locals gather to watch the toxic algae bloom's sinister encroachment on the city's coastline and beaches.
Come on now. Think I need a new prescription.
The battle is over, but the war goes on. The parrotfish's two front teeth, fused to form beak-like plates, prove an insufficient defense against the hungry predator. The cold-blooded rover moves confidently through her liquid element. From the moment she's born, the shark's cold, expressionless eyes are constantly on the watch for food. Regarding the scale of an orca, their teeth are the size of bananas, and I mean Cavendish bananas, not those Manzano ones. Humans have seen less than 5% of our oceans, which means there's still plenty of treasure out there for everybody. This instantized protein makes a great between-meal supplement, giving the shark the energy she needs to put on serious mass. Not really a gourmand, the bull shark will eat just about anything. In the kill or be killed world of the sea, performance-enhancing mutagens provide benefits that could mean the difference between life and death. The bull shark is able to attain larger maximal sizes through selective feeding. This shark is a sort of super scavenger, completely lacking in what may be called dietary discrimination. This recreation of the Titanic was so accurate, 1,500 people died during its maiden voyage. The rapacious rover is always swimming, searching for anything to satisfy the gluttony that is their defining trait. sharks just need to dirty bulk. Random mutations aren't random. They require large amounts of mutagens as a catalyst. Sea sponges' demand for pineapple homes has sparked massive deforestation throughout Costa Rica. But being brainless, sponges rarely weigh the consequences of their buying decisions. These scavengers of the sea are vital in cleaning the ocean floors of edible and semi-edible detritus. Over the course of a bull shark's life, it will ingest quite a broad assortment of flotsam and jetsam. No one can tell what may be found in a shark's stomach. It's truly the ocean's garbage can. During the 1920s, Sapphire Bay's pier was host to a collection of merry-go-rounds, wooden roller coasters, and fun houses, all of which would be destroyed in a succession of tragic fires. Supercharged with gene-altering mutagens, the shark now has an asymmetric edge on the competition. Like most American cities, the founders of Port Clovis were Freemasons, and probably Illuminati, who congregated in secret UFO bases to perform Luciferian blood rituals. This protein supplement has 0 additives, so the shark doesn't have to worry about hidden artificial colors or flavors. To catch a shark, one must be as quick as a shark. Hunters waste little time hitting the water when a shark becomes a threat to human life. The beast's appetite is temporarily sated.
Lazy Eye used to be my favorite lighthouse. Got a keeper named Emil. Got it automated.
If this person is enterprising, this shark's squalene oil can be sold for cosmetics, health products, or pharmaceutical preparations. To look at Pier 1 is to see what happens when zero risk management practices are utilized in commercial development. evolutionary anomaly, the hammerhead. Shark triumphs, overcoming her opponent's clearly superior depth perception. The shark returns to the grotto to focus on personal transformation. The thick, fat-rich milk from a lactating seal enables short bursts of high energy, making it a popular choice for grad students. As twilight falls, Pete is in an uncharacteristically quiet mood.
This a dangerous job. It's not something unknown to me. Well, you want to see dangerous? Look at that, yeah? That's PT-522. My daddy crewed that off of Guadalcanal. He was Navy. Gunner's mate. Pacific Theater. But when I was 16 men, came back a day later with 3. Man survives all that, just to die here in the Gulf.
What happened to him?
Boy, don't let me saying this. But my daddy, his granddaddy, was killed by a megashark.
I'm sorry. He's talking about a prehistoric fish that went extinct 2.6 million years ago.
I seen it.
You were a kid.
Ain't they discover new animals all the time?
Sort of. Well, not exactly. In lots of cases, they're just corrections of species with different names. Also stuff like misspelling.
Boy, I just say it. Maybe there are things in the water that ain't in your textbook. Stick around. Maybe you learn a thing or two this summer.
Whatever.
The ocean is vast. The majority of it still remains unmapped and unexplored by mankind. Perhaps Kyle shouldn't be so quick to dismiss his father's fevered ramblings.
took my hand, all right. Get yourself ready, boy. Now we playing with power. God! She busting enough to catch your attention, Annie?
Looks like our shark.
Y'all working my last nerve, girlie.
Hurry y'all in!
I'm about out of patience, me. Hey! You stop that this right now, second. She's catching her wind. Need reinforcements. Don't drag ass now. Y'all working my last nerve, girlie. Hey! You stop that this right now, second. I got a non-beat for some bull. I'm about out of patience, nigga. I'm gonna make a coubillon out of you.
Scaly Pete remains resolute.
Where's she at?
I don't know.
Big enough to toss him now, ain't you? Can! Get that can! Down him! Pique-toi! Ah! We're about to blow! Get the f*** off! Forget it, boss! He's just a boat! Carl! Carl!
What remains of the boat lurches, then slowly sinks to the bottom of the sea. The shark is now an elder, and thus begins a new battle against systemic age discrimination. Traveling around, we are constantly reminded of how man's intrusion has disrupted the fragile equilibrium of the marine world. Nothing combines the immediate threat of drowning with the primal terror of mutilation like a shark attacking a boat. Sharks are responsible for just 3% of hunter deaths. Drugs, alcohol, and poor firearm handling account for the rest. The shark's liver oil can now be processed into a high-grade lubricant. To look at Pier 1 is to see what happens when zero risk management practices are utilized in commercial development. Often occur unexpectedly and without any apparent provocation. Multi-million-dollar menace, Mama Maybell. This latest cycle of attacks will certainly be among the most infamous chapters in the long, troubled history of human-shark relations. It is too often that man views majestic beasts like the bull shark as a dangerous inconvenience. Sapphire Bay has had several piers, 3 that were destroyed by hurricanes, and 2 that collapsed due to substandard construction and safety deficiencies. stalk their prey, fully aware of the grisly horrors that await them upon a single misstep.
Sapphire Bay.
Attack on my watch. Let's go.
This shark's cartilage can now be exported to Hong Kong, Taiwan, Singapore, and other exotic ports of call. Even a shark can't help but marvel at this consumerist babble. Sector has experienced significant growth, leaving a lot of local openings for amusement ride operators.
Another shark got the dough good. That's it.
The shark's liver oil can now be extracted for use in dietary supplements and hemorrhoid medications. Sapphire Bay has had several piers, 3 that were destroyed by hurricanes, and 2 that collapsed due to substandard construction and safety deficiencies. planet's great tides encircle the globe in constant motion. A successful shark hunt is traditionally celebrated with off-brand cinnamon whiskey and large quantities of pseudoephedrine. The underwater world is full of bustling with color and activity. Free recipes are available upon request from the Gulf Coast Fisheries Association in their pamphlet, 8 Ways to Prepare Bull Shark. During Port Clovis's early days, city fathers touted its natural beauty, but the shrimpers and oystermen who docked there were only interested in its many woes. Is a driving force for the bull shark. process of running away from a shark, you leave your valuables unattended and they get stolen, well, that's your fault. It's impossible to predict the environmental consequences of purging our oceans of these mighty predators. Pier 1's Bird Dog Grill is famous for its Endless Platter Challenge, featuring a dozen oysters, 1 full rack of ribs, 6 sausage links, half a barbecue chicken, and 25 spicy wings. Blue marlin may live up to 20 years, just not this one. the aquatic hunter is vulnerable out of water. The ocean waters are driven constantly by tide and Saudi-owned super yachts. As is the trend in other coastal towns, long stretches of Port Clovis's shoreline are now the exclusive domain of the wealthy. This trimaran, like many before it, was lost in its journey to the mythological Dry. Many consider the Gulf Stream to be the world's greatest current, but for my money, you can't beat that Kuroshio.
Hi, it's... False alarm, just alarm.
Beach erosion can be harmful for ecosystems by changing habitat conditions for such local fauna as seals, sea turtles, birds. The shark uses lipids from high-fat fare like this to help it for reign of terror. The able-bodied seaman, Commander Percy Metcalf.
Yes! Got her!
Sapphire Bay has had several piers, 3 that were destroyed by hurricanes, and 2 that collapsed due to substandard construction and safety deficiencies. Intensive shark hunt is now underway. The able-bodied seaman, Commander Percy Metcalf. actively seeks out sharks only to destroy them. During the 1920s, Sapphire Bay's pier was host to a collection of merry-go-rounds, wooden roller coasters, and fun houses, all of which would be destroyed in a succession of tragic fires. Each year, North American offshore drilling rigs leak about 880,000 gallons of oil into the sea, leaving it for marine wildlife who know nothing about running a profitable energy company. Having evaded justice for her heinous crimes, the shark is now the subject of a bounty. The able-bodied seaman, Commander Percy Metcalf. Perhaps this shark's liver oil will be extracted for use in an eccentric millionaire's antique lamp. Sapphire Bay has had several piers, 3 that were destroyed by hurricanes, and 2 that collapsed due to substandard construction and safety deficiencies. Concentrations of metals and hydrocarbons in the water show just how much the Gulf has progressed since Amerigo Vespucci first arrived here in 1497.
Bad feeling. What's that?
The solitary hunter stumbles upon another source of nourishment. Goaded by lusty appetites, the shark's sole aim is to eat and evolve. When it was discovered that their Stonehenge replica was astronomically misaligned, enraged Port Clovians threw it in the ocean. shark is known to be a voracious, if hardly discriminating, eater. The ocean is a fluid and fascinating world, always changing. Even the self-driving technology of Gazorpazorp is not without its reliability concerns. Given the number of people who frequent the beach, it can be rationally assumed that a little an insatiable fish, the bull shark is 9/10 appetite. Some sharks are scavengers, indiscriminately consuming anything that's vaguely edible. Benjamin Franklin marveled at how quickly the Gulf Stream allowed him to travel back to America after his many Parisian whoring expeditions. The ancient Greeks believed that King Poseidon ruled the waters, whereas here at Prosperity Sands, they're ruled by luxury leisure groups internationally. This mineral supplement wouldn't be necessary if this shark ate a more nutritious, well-balanced diet. While they appreciate human sacrifices, the eldritch gods of yore are seldom enthused about being summoned to Port Clovis. After the end of the tiki craze, bar owners toss their Polynesian-inspired decor into the Gulf, where their kitschy charm is completely lost on native marine life. Pulling off a successful casino heist is made even harder when you drive off the road into the ocean and drown. To pass up a fat fiesta. Protein caches like this one are a convenient and tasty way for sharks to increase their protein intake. In a not-so-distant future, a young visionary entrepreneur will spot these 3 shells while snorkeling and revolutionize after-toilet care. The peace of the grotto enables the shark to approach the world with greater confidence and effectiveness. It's extraordinarily rare in the ocean to see fish hunting with their tails. This trawler, operated by Roger Cantrell, recently broke the state record for number of revocable commercial fishing offenses. The able-bodied seaman, Commander Percy Metcalf.
Shark has breached.
To look at the coast is to recognize that the boundary between sea and land is transitory, and that all life on Earth is just a cosmic accident. A day at the beach is a summer ritual that wouldn't be complete without plenty of sunshine, sandcastles, and circarial dermatitis. Natural cowards, shark hunters will often call for backup upon spotting their prey.
Bull shark. 10 hunting hunters. Hey, who wants a bounty?
That looks like our bull.
The able-bodied seaman, Commander Percy Metcalf. The situation has escalated, and the price on the shark's head has risen.
Where are you? Anybody got a good set of needle-nose pliers?
That's kind of disappointing.
Humans' attention spans are short. They've already forgotten about the shark and her many crimes, so thus ends the bounty.
Anybody else see that? This is anticlimactic. Suffocating outside. What is that? Anybody got a good set of needle-nose?
It's another unsuccessful shark hunt for the people of Port Clovis.
Should warm a fish finder. Let's really get a vision test.
The bull shark is quite a marvel of biological engineering. Despite the catfish's highly developed auditory system, lab tests reveal they still prefer seaweeds over oil. As coastal communities face ecological collapse and ruin, it's still reassuring to know you can get in your 18 holes. The shark returns once again to her safe haven. Blah, blah, blah. Late-stage capitalism. Port Clovis considered removing these naval mines after the war, but the city had already spent its annual budget booking a Nickelback cover band for the 4th of July. Every summer, Port Clovis plays host to the Megasonic Electro Carnival, giving a real boost to the local MDMA industry. Sharks have a habit of gobbling up anything that finds its way into the water. The sea wolf remains acutely aware of anything that might constitute food. Caviar Key features Painted Sails, a luxury 5-star resort built over the remains of Tunamacha, a pre-Columbian city that was once host to the most advanced civilization in ancient America. The appetite of this shark is nearly insatiable. Bull shark is an animal of broad dietary proclivities. Orcas do enjoy playing with toys, but not half as much as a day-old seal carcass. Sharks' propensity to clear the ocean of its assorted detritus is one of their most valuable functions. Lacking sufficient sand or protective dunes, there is a very real risk of drowning while surfing. But at least you'll leave behind a cool-looking skeleton. Along Blanchard County's 78-mile coastline, there are 35 miles of sandy beach, only 6 of which aren't owned by resorts, individuals, or homeowners associations. The Gulf Stream is just one of many major currents that mariners have used since time immemorial. So the predatory scavenger is often quite content to dine on whatever wastes fall to the ocean floor. A great way to discourage museum attendance is to put your museum underwater. Anyone who has delved into the stomach contents of a shark is acutely aware that they'll eat just about anything. The ocean is governed by the same cruel laws that rule the jungle. Decades ago, the plight of whales single-handedly revitalized the bumper sticker industry. The bull shark demonstrates the importance of getting enough minerals in her diet. Quite a strange conglomeration of stuff will end up in the stomachs of sharks. To see this area is to witness the inability of the hydrosphere to support the growth of humanized landscapes along the Gulf. The ocean is a source of life, inspiration, and no one knows who built this mysterious underwater base, but odds are they probably own a Nehru jacket and a Persian cat. Mutagen 23 is certainly heating up the evolutionary arms race. Port Clovis has long been a popular dumping ground for the military, thanks to its lenient regulations and low tipping fees. This shark understands that she needs to eat essential minerals to stay healthy and grow. From the moment she's born, the shark's cold, expressionless eyes are constantly on the watch for food. This instantized protein makes a great between-meal supplement, giving the shark the energy she needs to put on serious mass. Giant monsters, or kaiju, occasionally visit Port Clovis to pregame before destroying more worthwhile cities. For more than 3/4 of geologic time, the land was uninhabited, without a single destination spa anywhere to be seen. Sure, we could avoid catastrophic risks for future generations. This is quite a find. Although, that depends on the gold market, which has really been underperforming lately. I blame the Fed, of course, but what can you do? Not really a gourmand, the bull shark will eat just about anything. In the kill or be killed world of the sea, performance-enhancing mutagens provide benefits that could mean the difference between life and death. The bull shark is able to attain larger maximal sizes through selective feeding. This shark is a sort of super scavenger, completely lacking in what may be called dietary discrimination. rapacious rover is always swimming, searching for anything to satisfy the gluttony that is their defining trait. Rising sea levels have made once unreachable corners of the bayou accessible. Sometimes even sharks just need to dirty bulk. Random mutations aren't random. They require large amounts of mutagens as a catalyst. These scavengers of the sea are vital in cleaning the ocean floors of edible and semi-edible detritus. Over the course of a bull shark's life, it will ingest quite a broad assortment of flotsam and jetsam. No one can tell what may be found in a shark's stomach. It's truly the ocean's garbage can. The Gulf is vast, 600,000 square surface miles to be exact, making it fifth among the world's seas. Coastal tourism in the U.S. continues to grow, leaving millions of naive Americans vulnerable to the graft of beach umbrella renters. If a T-Rex is your favorite dinosaur, then you're boring and unoriginal and you need to pick a different favorite dinosaur. Supercharged with gene-altering mutagens, the shark now has an asymmetric edge on the competition. It's vital that we extract. This protein supplement has 0 additives, so the shark doesn't have to worry about hidden artificial colors or flavors. The bull retreats to the grotto for refuge and quiet reflection.